the plan is, with our very limited storage, we have about 130,000 bushels. We always put oats in the big bin because we know we can fill it. We've got 97,000 bushels in that big bin. And then these ones we filled with wheat because they weren't taking, and we took some off tough. But now we're shipping them out because we need to get these bins emptied for sunflowers. I think we have 1 or 2 bins empty. And Andrew was doing some Mennonite grain legging with this setup. And honestly, when it comes to moving grain, Andrew is one of the best. He's always on top of grain storage, grain quality and condition, and he's good at moving grain. He's really good at it. So this is the setup we got going here. It's a bit interesting, but for what it is, it works really well. So this is 1370. This is my dad's auger. He's got that set up going into that bin. And then he's got the conveyor belt set up going out of this bin. And it's dropping right into the auger. Like mint, actually. And then we got our 4690 on here. But because it needs an adapter because the 1000 PTO to 540, we couldn't hook up the auger. So it's kind of just balancing, hanging out. And also because it's 1000 PTO, this thing has to run at idle, otherwise it's going too quick. But this is the most horsepower we've ever had on this, and we could pretty much fill this auger with wheat, and it handles it at idle no problem, which is nice. It's really nice, actually. So he emptied out that bin, put it all in this bin because that was just a little bit left from what we were hauling. And now we got another bin that we can fill, which is really nice. And that 16125 is just too big to do that sort of thing, because it would be way too far out that we wouldn't be able to reach it with this conveyor belt. But we're gonna head out to the field now. I'm gonna bring our knife section that I repaired. I'm gonna get that put into the header, and I think I'll just get a sample right away to see where the moisture is at, because we weren't planning on starting today, we were planning on starting tomorrow, but another inch or 2 of rain on the weekend again. So if we could get a little earlier jump on it, probably wouldn't be a bad thing. So we'll get the trailer loaded up and we'll head out to the field. We're all loaded up, ready to rock, all that for a 30-foot knife, but gotta get it out there somehow. So we got our grease gun, everything we need. Let's head out to the field. We are pulling into our field here. This is the other side. We'll go through the other ford crossing. Hopefully I won't get stuck. It's a little bit wet. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wonder if it will drive. Right here, the battle of the late crops. Sunflowers versus corn. This year I am happy to have sunflowers. Here's our other ford crossing. There used to be beavers in here a lot, but someone cleaned out the dam with like an excavator, and I don't know, they haven't rebuilt it yet, so maybe they're gone. That would be fantastic. Now we're gonna make the trek along the edge of the trees here, and we got combine parked out back, hidden out of sight from everyone. Because sure, people probably aren't going to steal my combine, but I bet you they want that 1,000 liters of diesel I got in it. Someone's been quadding in here. I'd love to know how that went, because I'm scared to drive a truck in here. And the truck's a lot bigger and solid than a quad, so sure they took a little bit of damage, because these things are pretty sturdy. Also, on my way over here, just driving along, and Andrew sends me a picture. It's like, oh, I wonder what he sent me. And it's just a picture of the drive shaft sitting on the cement on the highway of our Volvo truck. So that sucks. At least he blew the drive shaft out extremely close. Holy crap. Those are bear tracks. For sure. Wow. I was in here late 2 nights ago, like at 11 o'clock, and I heard something run out of the bush. I was like, oh, I hope that's not a bear. Ah, it won't be a bear. I mean, those are definitely bear tracks. Wow. Seeing like you see the signs, but you never see them. That's cool. It's amazing. Here's some more. This is like a little bear. Makes me think there's a mama and some cubs or some 1-year-olds around here. Oh my goodness, look at the size of that print. Holy smokes, these are all fresh. Look at the claws on them. Whoo! I better get to that combine and stop messing around. That is so cool to see. Wow. We're just driving our combine up to the truck over there. We'll throw our knife in, quickly just get a small sample, see where it's at, so then we know kind of in the ballpark whether or not it'll go later today or not. And I hope it does. I really hope it does. I want to get these sunflowers wrapped up, and it's looking like they might drag out, which is kind of par for the course with sunflowers, but still, I'd love to get them done. That is big time no fun putting that knife in here, because the way that the Schumacher knives are, or guards are, there's no like main bar that the knife runs on. It runs on the guards, and there's like 2 little pieces it's got to slide in between, and it was catching like every foot, which sucks. But we got it in. Now we're gonna put our bushing and a roller in, hook it up, and then go get a sample. We got our sample. It feels extremely wet, so I would be surprised if we can go today. But it's windy and it's sunny. Problem is, the later in the year it gets, the harder it is for stuff to dry out because the heat's not there, and it's definitely cool today. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'll be surprised if it goes. Like, it's like you can wring it out. That's got to be 15-16%. Blech. We got a moisture on the sunflowers now that I'm at the main yard, and they were 13%, so we're not going to go today. We need them to be drier. We're going to go tomorrow, but here's the semi that dropped the diff. Let's see what happened. Yeah, first look doesn't look good. See, I just thought we blew the U-joint out of it. We take the drive shaft or U-joint out of our parts truck, no big deal, but something catastrophic happened here for sure. It's not supposed to look like that at all. It's that's amazing. It just ripped one ear off. Guess we'll see if this pinion shaft is bent. I need to figure out what gear ratios are in our other truck that we have for parts. Maybe we can just pull the whole pumpkin off of that one, slide it out, put our other parts one in, get back on the road. But yeah, surprising. Just did some calling around to see about parts on this truck. This truck we've always considered very much an on-highway truck. If we're doing lots of hauling in the winter, this is the truck we're using. Gets great mileage. It's got 2.64 rear gears. Unfortunately, the parts truck we have has 3.55 rear gears, so that won't work unless we want to change both diff sections, which maybe I'll talk with my brother. If we want a bit more gear, we can switch them both. But we may end up just pulling it apart. If we need to change the pinion, we will do that and then get this resealed. But maybe the pinion's not bent and we can just put a new yoke on it, which we would have off that other truck. So we'll have to figure that out, but that's where it's at. So here's the game plan on the combine. I called today for parts, and that piece there, the cap, is like a week away, something like that. And I want to get that oil leak stopped, so I think we're going to take that off. That's a B7299, which is a high efficiency version of the B99, which we run in our T800 and our 9000. So we're going to take that cap off, and I think we're just going to throw that filter on and see if that plugs it, because there's no actual flow-through hole, so the filter won't be acting as a filter. It'll be bypassing the filter. It'll hold a bit more oil in the engine now because of it, but I'm hoping it stops the leak. And honestly, I'm hoping we have enough room, because it looks pretty tight. Maybe the filter won't even fit, but we're going to find out, because that would be nice. If it does stop the leak, then we know for sure that that cap has a crack in it, and we need to order one anyways. All right, well, that sucks. this filter doesn't fit in the threads. I guess that's smaller than this, so we'll see what else we can find upstairs for filters that might fit. I found this one, which is an oil bypass filter for an 855 Cummins. So we're gonna try this one on it because the threads look more similar in size. I do want to try and get this plastic off decently so that if it doesn't work though, I could put it back on. Let's see. Feels pretty close. I'm gonna put you guys down, try threading it on. I think it might work. Okay, wow. Thread it on nice. The O-ring lines up good. We'll get that tight. We'll top up the oil because it'll be low on oil. We've done this a few times now. And then we'll run it and see if there's any oil coming off the bottom of that filter. And hopefully it's not leaking. I added like 8 liters of diesel oil. It was a little bit low, and then I know that filter, it'll fill up. It won't filter because there's no exit hole. But it'll hold oil, so I figured give it some extra for that. So we're gonna fire it up here. We'll run it for, I don't know, probably 30 minutes and see if we get any drips. I hope not. That would be nice. And honestly, if we do get drips, then we know for sure that it isn't the cap, and I don't need to order that anyways then. And then I need to get an oil filter base. So we're gonna find out. Starts good. Well, that settles it. We're still leaking oil. So we're gonna have to get a new oil filter base. 10-hour grease fittings are all pretty easy. 100 hours kind of suck a bit more. You have to take some side shields off. There's the ones on the concave adjustment. You want to get those. Then you got to take off this bottom door and that top door and grease in the elevator or the unload auger. And then you don't want to forget your rotor shafts. Got to grease those. And I feel like maybe some people forget about this pivot grease zerk for that main axle. Those are just kind of my quick 100 hours, don't forget grease fittings. But there's more than that, obviously. But we're almost done greasing. We just need to open up our auger. There's 1, 2 inside, and then the third one up top. And then we're done greasing, which is nice. And I've been doing the greasing while I was letting the engine run to see if it was leaking. As we all saw previously there, it is still leaking. So now we will pull that filter off, put the regular cap on. But before we do that, we will really inspect that filter base plate, because I honestly thought it was in the cap. But now we know for sure it's not, because we've tried different O-rings, the filters, changing cap, all of that. So it has to be in the base. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of figure out, hey, this is where it is. We're gonna have to see what happens though, because we won't be changing a base until we're done. Because to do the filter base, you have to pull the oil cooler, and then you have to drain the coolant. So that is going to be a winter project. So we'll do what we can to make it through the year. But I'll finish greasing now, and we'll check out that oil filter base. You know it's going to be yucky in there when you start opening this cover and it starts leaking. Also, don't forget that one. Top of the auger. Also a 100-hour fitting. No, top of the unload auger chain. Sheesh. This guy learns. Holy smokes, I was going to say this guy needs to learn a few things, how to talk, but that couldn't be closer to the truth with how I just said things. I think I'm just going to stop talking now. We had to move locations because I opened up that cover panel and it's just full of soggy beans, and I really don't want to pull that out with my hands. So we're going to run the auger quickly, and then since we're out here, I'm going to open up the stone trap and get that cleaned out so that I can go into the yard and pull the prep pans out, and then that's kind of taken care of. It's a beautiful thing. We pulled this door open to get out our prep pans to clean them, and they're all like perfectly clean. They're all sliding nicely. That's awesome. That was an easy job. Let's close her back up. I love that. Uh-oh. we'll have to change this gasket out next year before we start. That's not good. Anyways, we'll move on to the next thing. Since that all went so smoothly, we're back to this leak, and I went for a bit of a drive, and well, there's oil everywhere now, and it's gotten bad in a hurry. And I don't know that this is actually something we can ignore, so we're gonna spin that filter off. We'll see if we can't find any issue. Like maybe there's a loose plug somewhere, I'm not sure. I'll look harder now that I know exactly where it is. But we may have to change this filter base, and if we have to, I mean, we'll probably just end up doing it because it's bad enough that we can't leave it now. So let's get that pulled off. You know it's serious when I got my hair up. We're in here taking a look. I got the mirror and the flashlight, and I just can't see anything, especially anything like oil filter base related that looks messed up. So I think we'll put the cap on again, get it all cleaned up really nicely. There's like 2 O-rings that I could see it being potentially. So we'll clean it up, put it together, and run it, and have that flashlight and the mirror in there, and hopefully I can spot where it's coming from. We figured it out. It took having it clean and then having it started. My dad started while I was watching, and then I could see it instantly, and there is a little crack in the oil filter base, and it's pouring down right onto that cap, and that's why I thought it was a cap. But hopefully we can get parts here tomorrow. They didn't have the cap, but maybe the filter base is more commonly needed, so we'll hopefully get that tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to start combining sunflowers, not with this machine though, because we can't with that leak. It's getting bad, and because it's a crack, it's just going to keep getting worse. So hopefully they have that part, we can get it in, someone will come out and change it tomorrow, and then we can use this maybe Friday, because we want to be able to combine tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday before we get another inch of rain. That's the plan, but hey, at least we found it. I'm happy. So the combine is now ready to go, although we got to do the oil filter base before it goes anywhere. So now we're going to switch gears into this truck here and see if we bent the pinion in the diff when we blew the drive shaft off of it. If the pinion's bent, I think we'll probably change the gears on this thing from 264 to the 355s, because that would help out a lot in a lot of the tasks that the truck does. But I'm honestly hoping that it's all fine and we can just change the yoke, and we'll probably reseal the output shaft and the input shaft. But that would be nice. I would like it if it was just kind of simple like that, but we'll find out. So I think the theory is we just need to jack up one wheel, and then we'll be able to spin the diff, see what it looks like. I'll block the tires though, so that doesn't roll over me, because that would suck. We will get this thing jacked up here and then spin that wheel and see how that looks when it's spinning, but it doesn't look good. Alright, we got her spinning, and I think the pinion is all good and straight, so we're just gonna pull yoke off of the other truck we have, and here's why it went. You can see that brown rust right in the middle. That right there must have been an old crack, and then it just got weak enough that it blew out, and there was a crack starting here. And I mean, this thing lives a hard life coming in and out of fields, so I'm not surprised. Apparently it wasn't violent at all when it went, so I think the diff will be okay. Here we are at the parts truck. Let's see what this hunk of junk has in store for us here. It's supposed to be the exact same diff, so yeah, it all looks right. I think we'll take this yoke off and this, and then we'll just get a new seal for here in the back for that other diff, and we'll be in business. Did I just strip it? Oh, good. Is this not metric? I just assumed it was metric. That one's on me, boys. I think this is where we're going to leave it for today. I got a game plan for the truck. We got a game plan for the combine. Sounds like tomorrow, first thing, we're just going to head out to that field and start combining. There'll be, I don't know, hopefully between 11 and 10% moisture, which then it's easier to manage and deal with. I'm excited to get back in there. Hopefully finish up that field without any issues. If we do have issues, probably going to be the header. Seems to always be the case. Guess we'll find out. Anyways, appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll see you on the next one.